Hi guys, so today I'm here with another interview and I'm interviewing Isaiah from Love Island season 3.
What's up?
Thank
What's up?
thank you for being here. I'm excited to have you here where we get a chance to talk about the villa, talk about your experience, and also get a chance to really know you more outside of just like what we may have seen or may not have seen like in the villa. So, are you ready to get in your business a little bit?
I'm so ready.
All
I'm an
right.
open book.
So, first and foremost, how did they find you?
Yeah, so I had someone on Instagram, one of the recruiters, just reach out to me via DM. I was out with my friends and I showed them, I got this message like, oh, dude, you got to do it. I'm like, nah, I'm not doing it. And then I thought about it a little bit longer. I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I'll just go through the process. And I've been through these processes before in the past where, The Bachelor has reached out to me, other shows.
What?
Yeah, like Paradise Hotel, I think was another one. And the circle and like I don't know how they find me, but they've reached out to me before, so I've been through these processes and
Mhm.
either they just didn't work because of I didn't want to do it or I didn't get through the process or COVID happened, like one of those three. And
Right.
so I was like, you know what, I'll just give it a chance one more time. And then everything just kept clicking, all the interviews went well, and I ended up in Hawaii 3 months later.
Hey, like high key, I can actually like see you on The Bachelor.
Yeah, I mean, I could see myself there, but at the same time, I don't know if I could handle. I mean, I could be the bachelor, but I couldn't.
Right.
I don't think I could handle being one of the 16, 20 guys that are going for the same girl. Like it just
Yeah.
be tough.
Yeah. I don't know. That's not for the faint of heart. Like it's truly a tough competition. It's a lot. I mean, but no, you kind of like you have the look of what's his name? Dale.
Okay, yeah,
You have
yeah.
the look. Who knows? What if you like were Dale?
Hey, I do it. I would definitely do the. I would be the bachelor if they asked me. But if it came to bachelorette, like I just always have been iffy. I'm like, I don't like. I just, I think I just get too discouraged, having all these different guys have the same relationship with the girl that I would, I'd like. So,
Right.
but then again, who knows? I guess I wouldn't deny anything if it came my way.
And you know, it probably wouldn't even be that bad if you were the favorite.
That's true.
Right. If you're the favorite, you don't care. You be there like, it's cool.
Chilling. Yeah. Right.
But then
Yeah.
you don't know where you stand, that's when it gets kind of tough. And you're just like, all right, I kind of want to go home now. This ain't even worth it.
Right. Right. I mean, I think honestly, I think I would do pretty well with it. I think it's because like I'm good at having like one-on-one conversation and kind of getting to know people deeper pretty fast. And so
Mhm.
I think that would allow me to like make a statement right off the bat.
Mhm.
But who knows? Maybe
Well,
it's my future. I don't know.
maybe we'll see you in The Bachelor. Maybe you'll be the Bachelor. Who knows? Uh,
Manifestation right here at its finest.
yes, that is. Um,
Yeah.
now, if you could describe your time in Love Island in one word, what would it be?
Ooh. Uh, Complicated,
Mhm.
maybe. It was definitely a different experience than what I thought it was going to be. I think it was a harder experience than I thought it was going to be, simply because of I think the situation I was put into, and how things were panned out and the perceptions that were put on me simply because of the position I was put into.
Right.
So I was definitely expecting to go in there and make a connection with a girl. I was expecting, to be there longer. I was, expecting to make good, solid, friendships, which I did, but like friendships that were going to be very just deep rooted.
Mhm.
And I think none of those really came to full fruition. Obviously, I didn't have like a solid connection with any of the girls, which is why, I'm back already.
Right.
So that was unfortunate. I think that the guys definitely saw me in a light that didn't wasn't true to who I actually was, just because I came in as the bombshell.
Right.
So it's hard to like do you think, okay, is this guy a cool guy, or is he just a guy that doesn't care about us and he's going to step on our toes? And I think that unfortunately they thought that of me. And in reality, I really just wanted to kind of like more build a friendship and broship with all those guys versus like step on their toes. But that was a position I was put in, and so Um, yeah, I think it was just complicated. I was trying to fight perceptions of me that weren't true. I was trying to fight me trying to be authentic, in the sense of like I was very introverted when I was there. After the first like day or two I was there, simply because I noticed that the guys were skeptical of me, so it was hard for me to be truly myself. And so I kind of saw myself being more and more and more introverted and more pulled back. And it just was unfortunate because most of the people, actually all the people in the villa, I don't really think got to see who I truly was and truly am. At least in many different environments. I just was very like kind of not myself to a certain extent. So yeah, it was just like kind of I was expecting to really show myself and be authentic in that realm, and that just didn't really happen because it was just tough for me to get out of my shell, because of due to a bunch of different factors. And so
Mm.
just complicated for sure would be the number one word for that experience.
Right. And so overall, would you say like with that being a bombshell, you feel like you didn't really have too much of a fair chance of finding love in there?
I don't think it's the fair chance or not. I just don't think that represented me well.
Oh,
Like, I think that I would have done a lot better going in first and creating a bond with everyone in there, without the tension of having to find a relationship right away.
right.
And obviously you couple up right away, but the tension of being a bombshell coming in and having to go to every single girl and talk to them, um, is not necessarily me or what my like personality is like or what my vibe is like. And so yeah, I think that if I would have been put in a different situation, at least with coming in with someone, or because being first in the show, I just would have let it been a little bit smoother process for me.
Mm,
But you can always say what if, but I
right.
just I don't think the bombshell. I mean, I loved coming in a helicopter. It was a great experience. It was really cool.
That was
But
that was nice.
yeah, it was pretty dope. But
It was.
at the same time, I don't think it was. I mean, I handled the situation well, but
Yeah.
I don't think that I needed that. So
Mm,
I was grateful for it. It was
right.
awesome. It was a cool experience. But at the same time, I think I would have been better just being part of the group and building a relationship with everyone off the bat versus like being an outsider. If that makes
That should
sense.
come in. No, I get what you're saying. Now,
Yeah.
like, are there any connections that you didn't get to explore, that you wish you did, or like any connections we didn't get to see on camera? Because they only show us an hour out of the 24 hours in a day. Not all conversations are shown. So are there any people that we'd be like, wait, something was happening? Wait, like, really?
Um, I mean, I think the main one for me was just with Shannon.
Hmm.
Like, I'm not really. I haven't watched everything, so I'm not sure how what has all been put out there. But I think this our dynamic was just very confusing to me in the beginning. And she just expressed a lot of interest towards me in a sense of saying that she was, basically single. She coupled up as Josh as a friend in that
Right.
point. She, was definitely interested in me. I was her type, all those things. So I'm like, okay, great. Like I want to get to know this girl. And then as I like was doing my part to get to know her, it seemed like she was around Josh a lot. And so like I kind of retreated a little bit, but then after I did that, she would show interest, and then I would be confused, and then I would come back and be like, hey, like what's going on? And then she expressed to me that she wanted, a guy that was going to go after her and like pursue her hard. And
Mm,
I completely understand it's valid. But at the same time, I expressed to her that like you're around Josh all the time. It's like very uncomfortable for me to have to, pull you from another guy. One, because I want to be this guy's friend, even though I'm not there just for friendships. I
right.
do care about being that guy's friend. And two, like it's just uncomfortable for me. I usually don't go and like step on all these guys' toes, or I don't do that in real life. It's not really me. So I told her that, and I was just like, we have kind of a problem here because you want me to pursue you hard, but you're also in a situation what makes it very hard for me to do so. And
Uh,
so
uh,
we definitely had a like I think that there was very very good potential for us to have a connection. But like a lot of our conversations were kind of cut short, or they didn't really flow in a just a easy flowing way, due to like multiple different factors. But I think that could have been something that would have progressed if I would have come in first. Just
Mm-hmm.
that dynamic was very weird and different. But yeah, I think that would probably been the only one that wasn't really shown behind, like, to all of America. That could have been something a little bit more than what it was.
Okay. I understand what you're saying. Now,
Yeah.
like, are there any other Islanders that you've seen, like season two, season one? You know, like some people are like, ooh, Giovanni and Sully. So like there are other Islanders that you've seen that you're like, I might just talk to, or you'd couple up with.
Yeah, no, season two for sure, Kirsten. She was definitely my type. Like, her personality was pretty cool and dope. From what I saw or what they portrayed.
Right.
Also, she was just gorgeous. Definitely like 100% my type. I haven't watched season one, so I wouldn't have known, which I need to now because I know
Yeah,
you're on.
how you gonna know?
I know, right? But yeah, I think season two would have been Kirsten for sure. Um, yeah, I think probably the only one that I have my eyes on.
Okay, bet. Now,
Yeah.
um, overall, like you were talking about, you weren't able to like fully express yourself. So you would say that you don't feel like, to some degree, you weren't accurately portrayed on the show properly from what you've seen of yourself.
Yeah. I think to a certain extent, yeah. Like, I mean, from what I gathered, I was kind of portrayed as someone who's kind of a player, and kind of shady, which is completely opposite of what I think I am. I know for sure I'm not a player. I I don't play girls. I care about their feelings a lot. Like, I have a single mother, and I really like value the females' feelings, and just
Right.
like them feeling like empowered, and like that they matter. And so I would never want to be any sort of a player in that regard. I think that the reason I was perceived as that in the villa was because I let my care for females and their emotions get in the way of me being so direct. And so I could have probably been a little bit more direct with saying like, hey, like, I'm not really feeling you, or hey, I'm actually really feeling you. But at the same time, like, I look back at it and I'm like, I don't really know how else I would have handled it, because it was a very just different situation than most people were put in. Like, I didn't have as strong of a connection with a lot of the girls in there as I would have liked, coming in. And so, but the point of the show is to couple up with people. You need to have a connection with someone. So I kind of had to force my mind to be like, okay, well, let's open my mind up a little bit more to like maybe a situation I'm not used to being in. But in doing so and going through that process and talking to other girls, like, I had to, I would tell them like, yeah, I loved our conversation, because that wasn't a lie. Like, I loved our conversation. You interest me, whatever. And girls, they Shannon and kind of sparked this drama thing where she's like, yeah, well, he said this to me, and the girls are like, well, he said this to me too. Like, that's not me playing you. It's me telling you the truth that, I enjoyed our conversation, and I'm just trying to get to the point of processing what direction I want to move forward in. And, I think it's kind of important to like to keep my cards close to my chest, because, things change so fast in the villa.
Yeah.
One day you can be like your eyes on someone, and the next day you talk to someone for like an hour and they're completely a different person you thought they were, and you're like, whoa, maybe I like them. It's not realistic to, in the first 2 days of meeting someone, on top of talking to so many other people, to be
Right.
like, okay, I love you, I'm in love with you, and I'm just what I'm going to go with. Like, it's just, at least it's not realistic for me. And so, like, they saw that as like me just like playing them or being shady, which in turn, I didn't know what I was feeling. I didn't know what I wanted. I didn't know what direction I wanted to go in. And for me to say that I want to go in this direction or this direction would just be inauthentic. I just simply didn't know. So I was telling them what I did know. And they definitely took that the wrong way. And I think that maybe America saw them take the wrong way and perceived me as that. And which I just truthfully don't think is true at all. Yeah, I don't think that's accurate about me.
Mm. Now, I remember like you were saying earlier, just in kind of briefly in how you are in dating and stuff like that. So like how you like deal with women, being mindful of their emotions and stuff like that. Well, what is your dating experience like, or what has it been like before the show?
Yeah, so I think the reason I struggle is that my dating experience is very limited. I was with this girl from the end of high school to towards the end of college, so about 5 years, on and off. Just was not really a healthy situation. Just a lot of attachment on my end.
Mm,
Um, I mean, I blame myself for not getting out of the situation, but I should have been on the situation very early on. But I just, attached, and it was just very complicated. And I, when we were on and off, when we were off, I just felt like I couldn't pursue anything else.
mm,
And so I was kind of just waiting in limbo land for us to get back. And
right.
so like those 5 years, I just was kind of just sitting there in limbo land, going through college, partying, but also just keeping my heart only towards that one girl. And then after that, I ended up moving to Houston, and moving to Houston by myself with like basically nothing, besides like a car full of stuff. It was just a process of trying to get my feet under me, and then finding a job and making relationships, and building up like some sort of financial freedom. And then COVID came, so that made it very hard for me to like even meet anyone. And then I finally got to the point of things opening up again, and now I went to Love Island. And
Mm,
so like
mm,
it was like that whole experience of like kind of mini dating so many people, was just so foreign to me, and like something that I don't usually do. And like I just haven't really gone on many dates, in the last how many years. I think I've just been more focused on my career, and leveling up in that regard, and just not forcing anything, and kind of letting the right girl come to me, to a certain extent. But I think my mindset's kind of changed a little bit ever since this experience. But that's at least my past experience.
okay. And like, so now in the villa, because you spent time with Cashay, where you guys like officially had coupled up. That is the girl that you chose.
Yeah.
Um, I remember in the choosing ceremony, you talked about being having the ability to communicate and like truly feeling heard was like something to a part of your decision making and you guys being together. Now, at that point when the new guys had arrived and stuff like that, and you guys your relationship started to dwindle, would you say that did you start to feel like that level of communication, like being heard, like was kind of like going out of the window for that conversation, in which you guys tried to discuss like, hey, like who do you want to be with, who do you not want to be with, when you knew it was time for the girls to decide?
Yeah, I mean, so what was happening was that after we recoupled, my thought process was that I want to be open,
Hmm.
because I wasn't like 100% like connected to Cash. I wanted to be, but at that point, I wasn't like with anyone in the villa, But Cash was my number one at the time, and I wanted, to pursue that in the with the energy that I think that relationship or coupling deserved. And
Hmm.
so like I wanted to like focus on Cash, getting to know her, giving my energy towards her, not really talking to other girls in the villa at the time, but also wanted to keep my mind open because I wasn't like this with Cash. Like I can't force something that's not there. And so that's why I kind of communicated with her that saying that like, hey, like I want to be open, and you can be open as well. And I think I wasn't really good at communicating that with her, because she just kind of took whatever words I was saying like completely the wrong way. Or just as like she took it as me being shady, but I'm like, no, I'm just communicating to you that like that's what I want, moving forward. But as I tried to give my energy, towards her, I just really like I started to realize that it just wasn't clicking, and so did she.
Yeah.
Like, and you can't force something that's not, that's
Right.
not there. So like, I think that we had this period of awkwardness for about a day, and I think it was like the second night we slept together. Like I was just very like I didn't really sleep the first night, and then the second night I was just like I needed to sleep, so I kind of wasn't like cuddling with her, as much as we were the night before. And I think that's kind of sprung the awkwardness of like, okay, well maybe we're not connected, or whatever. And so like when the guys came in, I didn't feel like I don't know, like I knew that she would probably definitely be open. And then when she came back from the date with Wes and Slade, and like, or maybe just Wes, and was so happy, it definitely like maybe scared me a little bit, but to that extent, like I didn't want to like, fake saying, hey, like, I'm so gun ho for you right now. Like you should definitely only, look at me. Like I wanted her to be open to Wes as well, because I just needed to be authentic. Like that was the most important thing to me, was being authentic and being honest, and not taking away from another Islanders experience just so I could, have a higher reward,
Mhm.
and so, yeah, we did have maybe kind of a lack of communication ever since that period. But then when we gained that friendship, I definitely knew she was going to pick Corey because we had that conversation in bed that night.
Mhm.
And that was definitely upsetting to me. But at the same time, like, I get it. Like, you have to do the right decision for you. And so
Right.
I'm not going to hold that against her.
Right. Now, like, I want to discuss newness in the villa, and like, how do you think being new in the villa, um, kind of like builds up the attraction? Because everybody in the villa is very attractive, but I feel like the minute like someone new comes to the door, everyone's like, "Oh my gosh!" But is it that? Do you think it's just the fact that like it's just you see the same face? So it's kind of like going to school and the
Mhm.
new girl or the new guy. It's like, automatically there's that interest because just a face you haven't seen, even though
Yeah.
guys are only everyone's only been there for like a week, but still
Mhm.
that feeling of newness. Even if
I
you
think,
come in like you came in 3 days before and new guys came in 2 days, so technically you're still new, but then there was the newer. So
no, for sure. I think, what really sparks, like, at least from the girls to guys perspective, or actually both, the newness spark is because when you are in a coupling or you're with a group of people for say 3 4 days, and you're just not finding what you want to find, it's like maybe this person will be it, maybe this person is going to be my match, and so you get so excited. And so like, when Roxy, Florida and Leanne came in, I was in the best mood because it was like I wasn't finding the connection right off the bat with the original girls I had met. And so I was like, okay, now I'm really excited, and I have eyes completely on these girls right now, just because I was looking for that connection I came there to search for. So I think that, yeah, I mean, everyone's attractive. Everyone comes in there and provides something different and new, and something different and new is exciting to people. But I think the biggest thing that, because I noticed that all the girls were really interested in me, aside from Trina and Kira. Kira expressed, like, I mean, she looked excited that I was there, but you could tell she was very comfortable in her situation. And
right,
so she wasn't like freaking out to that extent.
right,
Trina had happened to be sick. So like, I'll give her the benefit out there, but I think her mind was definitely with Cinco still.
right.
And so like, she wasn't like expressing like that. But all the other girls, they were kind of, in a limbo land of, well, I haven't really found exactly what I want. So thank the Lord this new guy came in, because we're attracted to him, and we think that he could possibly, our good match. So
Mm,
that's what it kind of hits that spark and like interest. Sometimes it stays, and usually it fizzles out because it's hard to find a perfect match just from one person.
right. Now, like, now that you're out and you're about there, and I know like you're a handsome young man, so I'm expecting the DMs to be crazy right now. So how are the DMs looking?
The DMs are definitely popping. I've definitely gotten more DMs, than I ever have in my life. Definitely more direct DMs than I ever had in my life.
Mhm.
Uh, and I can't say I don't like them. Like, it's. I mean, it's at the same time like, uh, I don't let it get to my head. Like,
Right,
I'm sure some of these people like actually are real people behind these
right.
things. So I try to like, some people actually might be saying, giving me genuine messages, and so I want to like, look at them and hit them back, because if I were to send someone a message, I would want to get
Yeah.
hit back as well too. So obviously some people are out there sending those DMs are just like, it's very thirst trappy. But I mean, yeah, it's like they're blowing up left and right, and it's hard to keep up, at least right now, because I haven't been used to it. But sometimes you're just looking for that DM from that right person.
Right.
Um, so if Kirsten, you're watching this, you can DM me.
I love it. What'd you
All
call
right.
it? So, um, for those that are looking and then DMs that are like trying to find their way there, like what are you looking for in a person?
Yeah.
Like, is it a I ain't got no type? Like all different types of women come through. Um, like what are they like? Things of that nature.
Yeah. No. I mean, I think I definitely do have a type. I think I tried to get away from that in Love Island. It just
Mhm.
didn't shot me in the foot. But I I mean, I personally I like traveling, and I like being spontaneous and doing fun things.
Mhm.
I like getting a little bit deeper with someone, but also having a lot of fun. Like I like a lot of dimensions. I don't like just surface level stuff. And
Mhm.
so if um and honestly, I'm still in the process of figuring out what is my perfect type. Like I need to put myself out there more. I think at least to start to figure out, okay, is this, do I like this? Do I not like this? Stuff like that. But I definitely know that the type of life I live is I always live my life thinking that the worst feeling you can have in your life is the feeling of regret of not doing something. And
Mhm.
so I'm very driven, goal oriented, and I always want to continue to progress and move forward. So I guess I would want someone that would complement that, would make me a better person, um, but also be confident in themselves. I don't need someone that, for instance, I'm big into fitness. I don't need a girl that's at the gym every single day,
Mhm.
busting her butt and killing it. That's my thing.
Yeah.
I do want a girl that values fitness and values health and so that. Otherwise, we won't
Right.
mesh. But I don't need someone that is that gun ho on it, just like me. I don't need someone to be listening to personal development podcasts all day just because I do that. I just need someone like that will accept that and like that and complement that and have some sort of similar dialogue when it comes to just grown up conversations. But at the same time, I love to have fun. I love to go on do mini trips with my friends from LA or Austin or whatever, and we go Mexico a little bit just for a weekend, like a 3-day thing, send it, come back, get stuff done. I'm very work hard, play hard kind of guy. It sounds cliche, but I like to, never let a moment go dull. I can definitely chill out, and if I'm with the right person, I can chill out and relax and be cool in that regard. But if I'm not with someone, I want to make the full moment. So I'll work all day, go out at night, and struggle in the morning to work in the morning to still to have that experience from the night before with friends. I'll put myself through the struggle bus just to keep experiences rolling.
Right.
So I mean, I don't need someone that's like that, but that's kind of what I'm like. So whatever's going to complement that,
Mhm.
it will be probably a good match.
Now you brought up being family oriented, and I was also noticed I noticed that too from your Instagram and seeing your family and your
Yeah.
brothers. So how did you feel about experiencing love and kind of showing that side of you on TV, knowing that they're watching? Because in some nature of it you get a little frisky. So knowing that they're watching, did you at any point have any reservations, or were you anxious? Did you forget that people are watching being in the villa?
Yeah. I mean, I'm family oriented, but at the same time, I'm very much my own person. And so I don't really care. I mean, I know my mom is probably going through it when she's watching everything, but I'm still gonna do me. And my mom is amazing and she always will love me no matter what. And she's proven that to me from all the stupid mistakes I made through my life. And so I guess I wasn't freaking out about that to a certain extent. But my biggest thing was that, and I told my brothers when I got back, is that I want to be an example to them in a way to make yourself uncomfortable and shoot for the stars and always and to never hold yourself back just because you're afraid of something. And and maybe me making out with a girl on TV looks very it's not appropriate. And I kind of told them, it's probably not the best thing to do. It's probably not the most appropriate thing to do or look at, but I want you to look at this as me putting myself in a situation I never would have ever done before. And I made myself uncomfortable and I grew from it. And that's what you need to do in order to have a fruitful life and to be able to move forward and find opportunities you want to do and stuff like that. So, that was my biggest thing I was thinking about was Isaiah, this might be tough, but keep going, do the most you can. And then, be an example to your brothers that, you don't have to hold yourself back. And so that's the biggest thing I want kind of to portray to my brothers. Cause, it's my personality is very unique in the sense where I will literally get up and move to a different city with nothing and I will make it work. And not everyone's like that. And so I just want them to have the best life possible and not to hold themselves back. And so that was kind of going through my mind as I did it. But my mom, yeah, I know she was she was definitely going through it. But same time, I don't think she expected anything less of me. So yeah.
Now it's funny that you talked about uncomfortability and fearlessness because I was actually going into my next question. Like
Yeah.
you made a post talking about that and talking about your story moving out to Houston and just that feeling. So would you like to also like talk a little bit more about that of just like overcoming being fearful and how to like sit in that?
Mhm. I mean, I think when you make yourself really uncomfortable and you're in a place of just feeling like, wow, like I'm at a breaking point, you just really put yourself down to like such like a like a low level, not on purpose, but like just the grind because you want something more, and you're just kind of grinding. There is something so awesome on the other side of that. You're just kind of in the back of your head is going to come, but you have to keep believing in it, and
Mm-hmm.
that's the stage in life where you just find the most growth and the most reward. Many people who kind of sit in this zone of this trying to stay comfortable, they don't want to put themselves out there because they're the fear of the unknown or fear of like what might happen or whatever, don't really see a high reward. They kind of stay in this like limbo land. There's nothing wrong with that. But me personally, I just want a life that's just full of everything. And I think that, yeah, just making it like facing your fears and, doing something that, it might not be the easiest thing, but that you probably should do it and your heart's pulling on you to do it. And just always having a focus on it. And no matter how hard things get, you keep like trugging through and you keep doing what you need to do to get there. It's just like the most rewarding thing. And so I just like, I have a lot of insecurities, just like everyone else does in this world. I think the difference between some people that do very, very well in life and are successful, at least like financially or like in a business wise or just things regarding to that. The difference between those people and the people that don't really progress as much is that they don't let their insecurities dictate their actions. If you just, everyone's going to feel like they're not adequate. Everyone's going to have doubts. But if you realize that, okay, well, I'm doubting myself, but I can't let that get to me. I can't believe that's true. I'm still going to do what I know I need to do to move forward, is where you kind of see that like that shift in that those people that are succeeding at a higher level. And that's what I really try to do and make myself aware of.
And then and also with that uncomfortability, I know like you spoke briefly in the villa about like even in your fitness journey of you like getting bigger. You were like the little scrawny kid and things like that. So did you feel that like your confidence began to grow from like your outside appearance starting to actually change, or what do you think it truly more was like that internal, I'm taking the time out to take care of myself, and that is what's slowly building it, and then I happen to have the results with it that fully like kind of bring me into a more confident version of myself, or that like Isaiah
Yeah. So
young.
this is a very, I'm going to try to condense this a little bit because there's more story than what I think any of America knows. But I actually, like my entire life, I was a very like skinny kid, just like amazing athlete. And then I got to my freshman year in high school, and I was starting to gain a lot of weight. Didn't really know why. I just was gaining a lot of weight, and I was becoming a little more fatigued, not as athletic as I used to be. It just got worse and worse and worse and worse through the next year, until I was like literally like looked not right. I was like very chunky face. I was a chunky kid, very short, wasn't progressing in any regard. It turned out I had a disease called Cushing disease, which basically stops all puberty progression. It also makes you like chunky and fat and gives you like high blood pressure and low blood sugar and all these things. But so essentially what was happening was that I had actually a tumor on my pituitary gland that, which is like, straight back from here into your brain, that was causing all these things to happen. And the disease didn't allow me to make any sort of like puberty progression, any sort of growth. I actually, it's almost impossible, or they kind of label it as impossible to lose weight with this disease. And so I mean, I found myself in summers running with like multiple sweatshirts on, sweatpants, and like running a mile and just being like, and 1 mile is like nothing compared to me now, but like 1 mile would literally feel like a whole marathon to me. And I get back and be like almost blacked out from like a high blood pressure. And I would like, nothing would work, obviously, because I had this disease. And so, I would push myself to just ends that were so hard just to lose 1 pound, which was literally impossible. But so I was so blessed to have gone through the process of getting diagnosed with this, finding the right doctor in Milwaukee, Wisconsin at the time, Children's Hospital, and going through the process of getting tests and eventually having surgery to remove it. And then I was, knock on wood, basically cured from it. And then I slowly went back to, my old self. But because I had basically a 2-year period of delay, when I was a junior in high school, I literally looked like I was 12. Like I was tiny. I was like 130 pounds, playing varsity basketball at like the height of like 5'6", like just a tiny little kid.
Wow.
And then I slowly throughout the years started like, getting back, growing a little bit. And then when I got to I got to college, I was about 145 pounds, which is literally so tiny for me. At like I was, I don't know, 5'9" at the time or something like that. And so I got into lifting because I'm used to doing sports, be sport athlete and everything like that. And then I started seeing progress fast. And going from a position where you have a disease where you work so freaking hard and you can't make any progress to go into working out and seeing progress, it's like addicting. It's like you finally got to that point. And so it started to, I started to grow, taller. I started to grow muscles and I started to get attention from it. And I also just fell in love with it. I was doing like 2 days because I just like loved making progress. And then that just built my confidence, like over and over and over again as I went through it. And like I did like physique competitions a couple of
Yeah, I
times.
saw
Just
the post.
yeah. So I did those because one, the first time I did it was because I was dealing with my ex-girlfriend and I was going through a rough place. I was like, I can either do one of two things. I can like go drink my life away, or I can do something like that's the other extreme and just literally diet hard and like get my mind right and be so super focused. And so that was just a way for me to challenge myself. And waking up early in the morning at 6 a.m. when you're in college, and doing fasted cardio, and then eating the same meals every single day, and actually prepping your meals and all that stuff, like all that hard stuff is so hard, but builds confidence because you're like, wow, I just like killed that. I did all that. I changed myself like this. And so it definitely was just like the entire process of my fitness journey has just kind of built and built and built confidence, but also like giving me the skills to be successful in like other areas of my life. For sure.
Wow, that was deep. I,
Yeah.
yeah, we wouldn't learn this. This is not beach hut talk.
Yeah, no, it's not beach hut talk. Yeah, not many people know about Chunky Isaiah, other than my friends back home.
Right. Well, thank you. I appreciate you for even like taking the time out to even share that and like being open enough to share that on this platform and in this interview with me. I genuinely appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so overall that was all the questions that I had for you. And I like think we've learned so much more about you, just how you think, more time in the villa and just understanding it a little bit better, your perspective, and to have a like better understanding of how it is in the villa, the perspective you come from, also being a bombshell in the villa. So I just want to thank you for that and coming on and like being very engaging and stuff like this. So thank you.
So, yeah, I mean, honestly, thanks for letting me, have a platform to talk about it, because I think it's important definitely for people to see the full picture of things, but also just people are interested, and so definitely loved coming on here and giving a little bit more insight to like at least who I am, and so thank you for that. It was fun.
Oh, thanks. Well, you guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this interview. I enjoyed doing the interview. And where can everyone find you on Instagram and anything like that? Or if you have any other like projects that you want to promote at this moment?
Yeah, I mean, I think three places would just be at Isaiah Harmison on Instagram and on TikTok. I'm not even good at TikTok, but I'm trying it. I'm gonna start doing it a little bit, and then I currently work at Barry's, and so I think if people are in the Houston area and want to either do training or come check me out at Barry's, then come on through and just you can always DM me and ask me and how to go through that process. But would love to see y'all.
Hey, all right. So thank you, and everybody, thanks for watching.